Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M44, it's the Tier 6 American SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Lakeville, and it's under the command of Bunnynuts of QU2. And this is the first replay that Bunnynuts has sent in to us. Game on. Now Bunnynuts has a famous parent and also a famous grandparent. Yes, her parent is Jazz, who used to go by the name of Demented Bunny, and her grandparent is Sir Rusty, yes, the gentleman who gave us so many skins for our game in the past, but that's now ceased. Now, the M44 is a 155mm howitzer based on a Radley Walters hull, and you can see the enemy is appearing. She's loaded the extra high explosive, the one with the non-stun. Fires the first round in, it misses them, and she's changing position. Bunnynuts hasn't sent us in a replay before. This is the first time, but as I say, she's actually enjoying playing Arty. And that's good because we enjoy it as well. Rounds out. Oh, that one went right into the face of the T1 Heavy. She managed to earn 271 hit points from that shot alone. Oh, we can see the enemy Arty firing as well. Just saw the tracer going from the back of the map there. Now, the fire rate is actually fairly fast, although the M44 has been seriously nerfed. Rounds out. That landed just in front of the VK3601H. Yes, the M44 has been nerfed over the past couple of years, mainly down to the fact it was the Arty of choice for a lot of Arty players who wanted to extract some hit points off the enemy. And it really annoyed some of the tank players, so much so that they complained to Wargaming and they changed it. That's another really good hit. The Zanimika lost 238 hit points from that one. It really does help if you use some of the other shells. Now, with this one, the extra high explosive with no stun does 600 alpha, 49mm of pen. With the stun, it's actually only 500 alpha and 39mm of pen. Fired around in, oh, hit somebody directly behind the Zanimika. So somebody has lost some hit points, but it's not the Zanimika on this occasion. It wasn't the VK as well, I think it was somebody else. There's the culprit. Yes, the Shure Gloriana actually has lost most of their hit points. It's a Churchill copy, I think. And he's out the game, and that's the first kill. Now, they also have armor-piercing shells. They're capable of 360 alpha and 182mm of pen, so they can also be quite useful. Of course, if you can get a pen, you're going to earn more hit points than you will off a standard hit. Now, it just took out the T67, but we didn't get the kill. That was actually a Giro, and that was an enemy Arty shell being fired near us because we can hear the rumble in the distance. I love a good shot. Damage to both of those tanks at the same time. The Churchill took 219 and the VK3601H took 185 damage. She's getting a lot of damage, over 1,000 hit points already in this game. And this is a tier 6 game with tier 5 tanks in it. So she's fired around in there because there was an SU-85 parked there. Or at least, no, it was an SU-100 actually. Now, it might be a good idea for Bunnynuts to change position, or at least to move, because that VK is getting very, very close, and he could drive around the corner at any moment. Now, if she does fire at the enemy as he comes around, so, oh, she's done that. Now she needs to move, but unfortunately lost her tracks, and I think, yes, she's probably going to die out of this one. Yep, there you go. Ideally, if you do shotgun somebody who comes around the corner, you should actually move immediately afterwards, try and get away from them. But there was nowhere the Bunnynuts could go because there was enemy tanks just the other side of that rock, so she wasn't going to get away on this one. So the enemy have now got 3 tanks in the cap, and we've got no tanks up this end of the map who can actually get a reset. So I think they are definitely going to lose this one. We've got 1 tank in the cap at the other end, but that's not going to help us. And in fact, they have capped out. Here's the end of battle stats, and that game yielded a bruiser medal, but nothing else, I'm afraid, for Bunnynuts. She did get a large amount of damage on the enemy, and she did get at least 5 critical hits. In fact, she got 7 on this one, and she got at least 1 kill out of the game as well. And if we look, we can see her win rate was 2,449, which is very good indeed. So she's definitely got the skills. She is getting a lot of damage, but she didn't know when to pull away and to relocate. And unfortunately, on this occasion, there were so few of her teammates up that end of the map. If she had tried to pull away, more than likely she would have been spotted and killed. If we look at team score, we can see that she actually got the 2nd highest damage on her team, but not the 2nd highest damage overall. The highest damage was the VK3001H on the enemy team, managed 1,593. 2nd highest turned out to be the Wolverine on her team, 1,552, and he was one of the guys who actually went to the other end of the map. And the 3rd highest damage, well, that was the SU-100 on the enemy team, the one that was sitting by that rock. He got 1,542. We can see that Bunnynuts actually managed 1,470. She beat all but the top 2 on the enemy team, and there was 1 member of her own team that scored more. So in actual fact, she's in 4th place when it comes to damage. When it came to kills, though, we can see top scorers were the M4A1 on her own team, and on the enemy team, their VK3001H and their VK3601H both managed 3 kills, and Bunnynuts only got the 1. And when it came to base XP, we can see top scorers were the VK3601H with 888, 851 went to the VK3001H, and 732 went to the SU-100, and Bunnynuts only picked up 313. She fired 10 rounds in the game, got 4 direct hits, no penetrations, but 13 splash. Damage of 1,470, all of it at more than 300 meters. She received 3 hits from the enemy, all 3 penetrated. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, and she earned, or actually suffered a loss of 5,007 credits from the game. That's because she had to pay for consumables, and 469 experience points out of that one as well received. So that was her first game that she sent in, and it is fairly good. Shows a lot of promise because she was hitting some of those enemy tanks with a lot of force, although she was getting no stun assist because she was using the non-stun HE. And I would say that at that close range, you're better off using the stun shells because at that range, it's going to enable you to get stun assist by your teammates shooting at these stun tanks. And it's going to slow those stun tanks down enough that you can either get away from them, or alternatively, your teammates will give you enough assist to actually get a much higher mastery. Anyway, let's have a look at the second replay that Bunnynuts sent in. The second replay is on the south spawn of Ruinberg, and Bunnynuts is just about to start the battle. Game on! Well, there's a funny moment with the M44 in the film Pattern Lust for Glory. Yes, this Arty, which is actually post Second World War. In fact, it was designed and built after the Second World War. Most of them are actually built in the 50s. And this Arty actually appears in one of the sequences, or several of the sequences in the film. And yet, of course, as I said, it was post Second World War, after Patton had died. So, of course, it shouldn't really be appearing in that movie at all. Okay, we spotted a Wolverine north of the center line. Bunnynuts lining up a shot. Rounds out. Oh, good shot. She got a direct hit. 227 with her first round. Now, it appears she's loading the non-stun HE again. It does have more damage, 600 alpha, so 100 more than the stun shells, but obviously you're not going to pick up any stun assist, and that does have an effect on your overall scores at the end. You might not get a mastery. You'd have to do a lot of damage to get a high mastery. And Bunnynuts fired the round in. You can see that it hit the front plate of that VK3001H, but just as she pulled away, she actually looked away from the shot, so we didn't get to see it actually impact. Okay, lining up the shot on the Stug. Rounds out. Yeah, she pulled back again. Shell overshot the Stug and actually landed behind it. Now, the standard reload is actually 25 seconds for the M44, but you can see here, Bunnynuts has got it down to 21.92. That's a standard battle, so it's about actually capturing the enemy cap area. It's a mass fight going on in the center of town, but then, not Angela. Bunnynuts is actually relocating to about halfway along so she can get shots on the enemy, but she might be better off actually going right to the corner. Okay, just saw a target. It was a KV-1. She's looking for that Stug that was there before, and the shell hit the building. I'm afraid, yes, she wasn't fully dialed in, and also she must have had a red line, and that's why it did hit the building instead. You have to check that you are fully dialed in and lined up, and there's no red line, otherwise your shell's not going to hit the target. Okay, so she's going into the corner, and there's a big event going on in town at the moment. Bunnynuts is lined up. Yes, she can get shots on the enemy from here. And there's the VK3001H that she hit before. And she got a direct hit. Now, the KV-1 that she saw earlier, that's been killed. Just got wiped out by an AT-2. She can't see the enemy tanks down here. So if she fires a round in, it's pure speculation. Her team is not doing so well at the moment. They're 3 tanks down on the enemy. And it appears that they've lost control of the town centre. There's the enemy tanks. Our T-3485 is moving in, so he's going to get spots. And the T-40 might also get spots. But it took them a little while to get up here. Now, look at that line in the centre. It gets greyed out every now and then because, of course, you can't get a shot in at that angle. And now we can see the Nashorn, but we're not fully loaded yet. Now, he's lining a shot up. Oh, he didn't go. He went down very quickly as well. He was taken out by the Skoda T-40. Now we've got a T1 heavy and we're dialing in. Bunnynuts fired a bit prematurely, but she did get a direct hit because there was no explosion. Our guys are moving south again, or moving west, I should say. So they spotted the T1 heavy. And now we're lining up another shot. Rounds out. She looks back after she shoots. But she did get some damage. Yes, if you pull back after you fire, it might miss out on the information about what damage you did to the enemy. It will appear at the bottom of the screen, but it can sometimes affect your future aim, because you have to then put the cursor back onto the target again. Get the rescue lined up. Well, that one was fired blind because you couldn't see the target at the time. But we can see the KV-1 now, and they have actually got all the enemy back and more. In fact, we're 2 up on the enemy now. And there's one of the enemy Arty. It's a gorilla. It's a tier 6 game with tier 5 tanks, and he's just been killed. There's only 4 left now on the enemy team. They've got a Hummel, a Hellcat, and 2 Wolverines. Most of those are probably here at the back of the map. She's anticipating where the enemy might be spotted. And yeah, that looks about right. The Wolverines have probably pulled back to those bush lines and tree lines. She is moving her cursor about quite jerkily as she's doing it. It might actually help if she was to hold the aim, and there are ways of actually moving between various scenes by actually using the mouse to adjust your aim. Obviously, we'll need to go into that. Oh, the tracer from the enemy Arty just came from that corner. So the Hummel must be there. There's the Hellcat. She fires a round in. Yes, after she's firing, she's actually pulling her aim back, and that means she has to adjust it again. As I said, she has to get it back on target. Okay, it's going back to where the Hellcat was last seen. You can see that on the minimap. She's using that, and you can see damage being done to that gun. That's a bit of scenery, and if you do damage it, you will actually see damage being caused. The Hellcat's gone into the buildings, or that passageway there. Now, it's going to take a little while to dial in. She fired prematurely. Now, she did get some damage on the Hellcat, 214 hit points, which is quite a good score. But now we're down to 4 left on either team. Well, we were momentarily, but the Hellcat just got killed by our Hellcat. So now it's down to 4 versus 2. Now, we know where the enemy was spotted, but at the moment, we've got nobody looking in that general area. And so that was a speculative shot. And in fact, we've just lost our AT2 to the Hummel. Now, the Hummel was in that courtyard and doesn't move particularly fast. So he probably did have sight of the AT2 from one of his other teammates, the Wolverine. We just lost our Hellcat as well, taken out by their Wolverine, and I suspect the Wolverine is right down the north end of the map, the way we're headed right now. And we've been spotted, so the enemy can see us. Sixth Sense just went off. Oh no, this is not good. Apart from being spotted, we just lost our teammates now. All of them have gone, and it's now down to Bunnynuts to actually win the game. In fact, there's the Wolverine. Now, she can shotgun this guy. She's turning. Line it up. Oh, she managed to get him. She killed him with a near miss. In fact, it was a splash. 94 hit points. And that means now it's Bunnynuts versus the Hummel. And that's player 0227049636. That usually means that the player actually chose an inappropriate name and was forced to change it by Wargaming. So this could be quite funny because the enemy Hummel has 2 kills and Bunnynuts has 1, but she's looking for that enemy now. Oh, and he's down the other end of the map. He must have gone down the west side of the map after he killed our Wolverine. And that was quite a few minutes ago. She's fired blind, speculating where he is. I don't think she was aiming at the right spot. Okay, she's going to have to go to her own cap now. And she needs to get there as quickly as possible. When she gets there, she's going to have to shotgun the enemy tank. Either that or the best thing to do is to just drive straight up to it and shoot it right in the face. Normally, somebody who's actually defending a cap area like this, they will be in ambush position. They wait for the enemy to turn up and they'll already been lined up on where they expect the enemy to appear from. If they get off a hasty shot, you can then just drive straight up to the enemy and shoot them. Now, she just fired while she was on the move, hoping that she might get a lucky shot, but in actual fact, it didn't work out for her. And this thing's got such a short view range. It's only 265 meters, so it can't see that far. You have to get fairly close. And now she's within view range. And there is the enemy. And he's taking aim right now, and he's just fired. Now she can just drive up and shoot him in the face. But instead, she doesn't need to. She just shoots him from afar and gets a kill. And that wins the game for Bunnynuts. Here's the end of battle results, and this game worked out very well for Bunnynuts of Quinn in the M44. She got her first class tanker out of this game. You can tell it's the first one she's ever had because she's got scrolls underneath, and you only get that the first time. She also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, she got 14. And she got a defender. She reset the cap and got at least 70 defense points in the process. And yes, that earned her the defender medal. And her win rate from that game, 4,228, which is super income standard. So well done on this one. She says, what a trooper. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage in that game actually belonged to the Hellcat on the enemy team. They got the high caliber 2,334 hit points of damage, but they got wiped out. Second highest damage in the game went to the T-34-85 on the enemy team, on her own team rather, 2,175 hit points. And the third highest damage, well, that actually went to the Wolverine on the enemy team, 1,750. And yet again, we've seen Bunnynuts actually get 4th place on damage with 1,743. When it came to kills, though, the top scorers were the AT2 on our team, got 4 kills. So did the Hellcat on the enemy team. 3 kills went to the T-34-85 on our team and the Skoda T-50. And in 3rd place, we can see that Bunnynuts got 2 kills. So did the Hellcat on her team and 3 members of the enemy team there. Wolverine, KV-1 and Hummel all managed to as well. When it came to base XP, we can see top scorer was the T-34-85, who obviously did a bit of spotting as well. He got 1,135, the only player to get over 1,000 base in the game. 883 went to the Skoda T40, and in 3rd place, it's Bunnynuts with 765. She fired 18 rounds, which is a very good amount of shells. It means you're active all game long, or most of the game. To get a mastery, you really need to have at least 11 shots, but you can get a mastery of 10 or less. It just depends on the amount of damage you do and how influential you are on the battle. In this case, she got 6 direct hits and 1 penetrating shot, which I suspect was that Hummel at the end of the game. She would have gone straight through his gun shield. Yes, she did. 335 hit points and 1 penetrating shot. The gun shield is very thin on a Hummel. She also got 10 splashes, 1,743 hit points in total, of which 1,314 were actually at more than 300 meters. She received 1 hit. It was a penetration. Yes, that was from the tank that she came across, the Wolverine, who poked his head round the corner, shot her, and then pulled back and then got shotgunned in return by a splash. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 2 were killed, and she got 110 hit points of damage assistance. She also picked up 93 defense points when she reset the cap at the end of the game, and 1,804 experience points. No, it's not experience points. That's credits for winning the game on a premium count, and 8,035 experience points out of this one, including getting 6,888 from a mission completion event. So very well done. Shown the first game, obviously, where she was lacking a bit of experience, but she was working really hard to generate as much damage as she could on the enemy, but eventually her team let her down because there was nobody left to actually help her to get a reset, and she eventually got cornered and killed. And then, of course, this game at Ruinberg, where she got a medal and a mastery out of it as well. So definitely showing potential as an Arty player. I expect to see better replays from Bunnynuts in the future. I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.